A combat medic finds himself tying tourniquets on his own legs on a bloody battlefield.
Just telling myself, you don't want to die here. You do not want to die here.
His high school sweetheart gets a fearful call in the night.
I think deep down I just had a feeling that something bad was going to happen. But I mean, I knew that we were going to make it through it, and I knew I was sticking around.
How can they get back the lives they left so far behind in this small Minnesota town? On this edition of Operation Build, I'm Coming Home, we're going to show you how caring organizations and people came together to create a dream come true. This is the story of Thomas Scott. I'm Alexi Panos. I love working as a model and TV host, but when I'm not here on set, I live a completely different life. We're turning extreme situations into extraordinary results. Our mission is to innovate, renovate, and elevate the lives of people in need. This is Operation Build. In the war zones of Iraq and Afghanistan, Thomas Scott's job was combat medic, rushing to wounded comrades time and again, providing urgent, life-saving care. Then one day, in a brutal, heart-stopping flash, he was the man calling for help. Thomas Scott grew up in sleepy Burnsville, Minnesota. He and his longtime girlfriend, Brittany, met each other here and went to high school together. Thomas joined the military because he wanted to see the world and also to study medicine. After basic training, he was quickly deployed to Iraq and then Afghanistan as corpsman. Then came that fateful day his patrol unit was rolling back towards friendly lines. They were continually on nerve-wracking lookout for improvised explosive devices or IEDs buried along the trails.
And as we're rolling in, I just heard and felt this big blast that lifted my vehicle up. It was just kind of like just dust and cloud and everything. And I was just like, oh my God, I think we may have just gotten blown up really bad. I had to tend to myself. I'm like, if you think too long about it, it could be too late. So I just snapped into it and like put tourniquets on both of my legs. And I was just like trying to do as much as I could to preserve my own life. That was basically that moment. And then I remember laying there in like one of the worst pains I've ever experienced in my life before, just telling myself, you don't want to die here. You do not want to die here.
As it turned out, both of his legs were severely damaged, and one had to be amputated below the knee.
It used to really make me tear up and like really depressed every time I went and saw my orthopedic surgeon, because he just tell me like, well, you don't have that many options here, Thomas. You could either stick with the leg that you already have that's been that's been put back together, been salvaged, or you could get it amputated, which will relieve a lot of pain for you. You won't have to ever think about it again.
The first time he spoke to his then girlfriend, Brittany, he told her she didn't have to stay with him.
I just said I was, they think my foot's gone on my right side. They don't know what they could do with my left leg or so. I think this is gonna be a really tough journey, and please let me know if this is gonna be too much for you. Like, I don't expect you to go through this with me. This is my decision. And she just bursted out in tears and like, who do you take me for? And like, she's like, I'll be there for you.
I'm just glad he was alive, Mm-hmm. I was in college, so I was still trying to figure out, how I was going to go to my classes, and I was going to go see him, and how to balance everything. But I knew he was worth it, and he'd do the same thing for me if he could. And
they were married shortly after in a VA hospital chapel. Rehabilitation was a difficult and frustrating ordeal. It seemed to take forever for Thomas's leg to heal enough so that he could wear a brace and walk normally. Soon after the injury, Thomas applied to get a new house for him and his new wife.
I found out about Homes for Our Troops through one of my Marines, a Marine that he was my team leader that ended up getting hurt in Iraq, and I ended up working on or helping to save his life then. He was the one that was like, hey Doc, when I got to the hospital in Maryland, he was like, hey Doc, you ought to check out Homes for Our Troops. And I know that that's really far down the road in your recovery, but you should start thinking about them because they're doing awesome things for vets. He's like, they just built me a house the other day.
Well, Thomas applied to us in August of 2012, and lo and behold, right here in Lonsdale, Minnesota, a home opened up for Thomas, and we were really thrilled about that.
Wow. So how many homes to date have you guys given away?
Year to date, we have built 167 specially adapted homes, and in addition to that, we've also given away 24 homes through our Home Award Program, which is the program that we did in conjunction with national banks.
That is fantastic. And I know personally, just from vets in my own life, PTSD and coming back into the civilian world, it's a huge transition. So this must be a big stress relief as well.
It is indeed, and many times when severely injured veterans leave places like Walter Reed in Bethesda, they have a facility that is handicap accessible. So when they leave, it's culture shock. They go back to their traditional home, and the thresholds are there, and the doors aren't, the doorways aren't wide enough, and their kitchen counters aren't at the right height, and they can't reach for shelves, and it's frustrating, and it affects their self-esteem. So our homes take away that and provide that, give them back that freedom and independence that they lost due to their injury.
A year later, Brittany and Thomas look forward to coming back to Minnesota and starting a new life together. Both attend the University of Colorado, pursuing psychology degrees. Thomas plans to go on to graduate school and establish a specialty working with traumatized combat veterans.
We'll share stories a lot, and I'll be able to relate to them. They'll be able to relate to me, and we could probably just talk through things.
Meanwhile, Thomas and Britt's families feel so blessed to have the two of them home safe and sound.
It's a big relief to see him, happy, he and Brittany happy, to reach this far. And life is just, good for all of us. That's all I can say.
To see Thomas come this far, what he's been through. And, I wouldn't even think about if it happened to me, if I could come this far as he has done. So I'm very grateful, I'm very thankful that he has come this far in his life.
What do you guys think about them getting this amazing house?
Awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you all seen it?
Yes.
Yes, we have.
It's unreal.
Yeah?
Yeah. Things like
It's
that don't
unbelievable.
usually happen.
It's unbelievable. It's where my grandkids are going to grow up. Because I'm patiently waiting.
And what a homecoming it's going to be. A few miles away, in the tiny community of Lonsdale, a brand new home awaits them. We're going to fill it up with beautiful things, as you'll see coming up. Since 9/11, more than 1,700 veterans have returned home with life-altering injuries. It's always an exciting time when we can show a family the transformation from empty house to warm, inviting home. It's especially gratifying when that family includes Thomas Scott, a medical corpsman who served in Iraq and Afghanistan, enduring the loss of a leg and other injuries in service to our country. It's been such a great week here in Minnesota, meeting this wonderful family, and working with such generous companies who help to provide the Scotts with a new outlook on life after all they've been through.
That's awesome. It's beautiful.
We'd like to thank Homes for Our Troops, a group which continues to give homes to hundreds of deserving veterans. VFW Charities, which offers a wide range of services for veterans, including home furnishings and medical care. Schlage Lock Company for a practical and stylish keyless touch lock system. and to Lennox for that beautiful 365 entertainment dinnerware. Well, I think you'll agree this was an incredible mission accomplished. Guys, we wish you the best of luck in your brand new home.
Thank you.
Until next time, I'm Alexi Panos.